So, you've watched my Japan travel vlogs, you've seen me visited the Tokyo Tower, Shibuya with Hachiko, had the most exciting time at Tokyo Disney Sea, and so, you wanna go to Japan and experience everything yourself. Okay, don't worry, I got you. This is the How to Get a Japanese Visa for Filipinos for Tourism. Hi Famaril, it's Real here. So again, we're here to get you a Japanese visa, okay? But before we begin, come join the Famaril, help this channel grow by hitting the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. Okay, let's begin. Please, pakilabas ang inyong mga notes, ang inyong pens, ang inyong paper. You have to take note of these important things. Okay, first of all, you have to print these documents in an A4 paper. Okay, di pwede short bond, di pwede long bond, A4 paper. Now, by filling up the forms, pwede siyang handwritten and also pwede siyang typewritten. Next is, don't staple the documents. Huwag niyong i-stapler yan, okay? Just use a paper clip to bind the documents together. Now, when is the best time to apply for a visa? I suggest applying 2 to 3 months before the planned trip. Why? Because if you were granted a single entry visa, that means it is valid for 3 months only. So if you were granted a single entry visa 3 months before your planned trip, sakto lang siya, right? Like aabot yung 3 months na eligibility ng visa mo for that planned trip in 3 months. So I think that's the safest, 2 to 3 months before your planned trip. Or the best is don't buy muna airplane tickets, okay? Huwag mo na bumili, just to be sure. Just focus on getting that visa and then you book your hotel, your airplane, and everything. Para lang sure. Okay, sayang din pera if ma-cancel, diba? So after submitting the documents, your forms, how many days bago mo malaman kung ikaw ba ay nakakuha ng visa? 5 working days. That's what's said in the embassy's website. 5 working days. But also, it still depends if maraming mga nag-file during that time or during that period you are applying for. So it depends. But usually, it's within 5 working days. So, magkano nga ba ang visa for Japan? It's for free, according to the embassy's website. And that is dated from April 1, 2023 to March 31, 2024. But, ang iyong babayaran ay ang agency. Why? Di ba pwedeng maglakad ng visa diretso sa embassy? Apparently not. You have to find a travel agency na accredited ng Japan Embassy. So, just a heads up, all of the application forms, basta all of the links for those important things that I'm gonna mention later on, everything will be in the description down below. So please check that out and you can find all of the things that you need to apply for a visa. Okay, so that's just the heads up kung ano ba yung mga kailangang alalahanin before getting a visa. Now let's go to the process of getting a visa. For me my step 1 is finding a travel agency na accredited ng Japan Embassy. So again, the link for that will be in the description below. But for me, we actually attended the Travel Expo this year. Tapos we were able to find this travel agency called JTB, which is one of the top agencies na naglalakad ng mga visa, especially for Japan. They were on a promo. Dapat 2,000 pesos for multiple entry visa. But naka-sale siya during that time. It was on a promo at 1K na lang siya. So I think if you really want na makamura sa mga fees for getting a visa, find a travel expo. And actually, generally speaking, mura ang mga airplane flights doon, airfares, pati yung mga tours, packages, hotels, everything. Usually, it's cheaper talaga sa mga travel expo. So now you've found your selected, your chosen travel agency na mag-help sa'yo to get a Japanese visa. So now you have to prepare the requirements. So you can ask them directly, of course. The agency will help you. They will also guide you. But if you want to be prepared, like to be ahead of these agencies, and then you can do it, even right after calling them or finding an agency, gawin mo na itong mga requirements na to, okay? Prepare them already. So for me, step 2 is to prepare the requirements. Okay, so I'm gonna read through the list of requirements for you guys na going to Japan for tourism. First of all, kailangan ng passport mo. Number 1, of course, passport. Yes, hindi photocopy ng passport, you have to give your physical passport because that's where they're gonna put the visa. And then you have to submit your application form. Okay, so later on, I'm gonna guide you on how to fill up the application form. So sa application form, you also need to provide a facial photo 4.5 by 3.5 centimeters. And I've read somewhere then na the photo must be recent, like it needs to be like taken for the last 6 months. Hindi pwedeng bata ka pa, tapos you're gonna use that photo for that application form. No, it should be recent. Third requirement is your birth certificate. So it should be issued by PSA within 1 year. And then if you're a married person, your next requirement is your marriage certificate. Next is your itinerary in Japan. Actually, for this one, funny story lang. Because for the embassy, they provided a sample layout of the itinerary. So I'm gonna also add the link in the description below. Pero you just have to add or you just have to list down where you are going per day. But for me kasi, I forgot about that requirement. During the day, we're gonna submit the requirements to the travel agency. And I didn't know na there's actually like a layout for this one. But what I did is just added my name on the top and then listed down yung mga parang day 1, Tokyo Tower, Shibuya. Day 2, I just made up places na pupuntahan namin sa Japan. You can do that, but I highly suggest, of course, na you use the layout of the embassy just to be sure. Okay? And also, for convenience, may layout na eh. So why bother making your own layout, right? Requirement number 6 is your bank certificate. So if you watch my How to Get a Korean Visa video, sa requirements ng Korean Visa, they need your bank certificate and your bank statement. So apparently for Japan, no need for the statement. What is the statement? Ano bang difference ng dalawa? Okay. Yung statement is yung parang printed copy ng iyong passbook. So, dun yung mga transactions. So, like, bawat galaw ng pera mo, it's in the bank statement. But for the bank certificate, it's like a certification lang that you should have an account in that bank and then dun nakalagay yung total amount na nakalagay sa bank mo during the time that you got your bank certificate. So, that's the difference. So, you need the bank certificate only. No need for the bank statement. Okay, next is a photocopy of income tax return or your BIR form. So for this one, since I'm a freelancer, I have an online job, and I don't have this specific requirement, I also didn't have this one during when I got my Korean visa, so hindi ako nag-submit ito. It's okay. So what I just did in, as an alternative for this one is mag-write ng cover letter. So you're gonna ask me, ano bang format ng cover letter? Just a formal letter. Just yung parang typical format ng isang letter. Like, you can find that in Google, okay? But with my cover letter kasi, I explained my, my reason why I'm going to Japan. Like, in detail talaga. Like, where I'm going. And for me kasi, since I'm a vlogger, I also mentioned na I'm going to Japan to film vlogs, to share the beauty of Japan through my YouTube channel. So something like that, So parang you're really convincing them na you're there just for tourism and you're gonna go back home. Okay? Yun ang pinaka-important. You have to convince them that you're going home after that trip. Okay? So just an added added document or added requirement for those who is just like me, na vlogger then. So what I also did both for my Korean visa and for this Japanese visa is I printed out yung screenshots ng YouTube channel ko, like all of the videos I posted, like the profile of my YouTube channel, everything I printed screenshots of those and then added that to my documents to submit sa agency and then to the embassy. Yeah, so wala lang pang convinced na, I'm a legit vlogger. Okay, so in case you have a sponsor or a guarantor, there's also a layout for the guarantee letter. Okay, so I'm gonna add that also, that link for that in the description, just fill that out. You also have to prove your relationship between the applicant and the guarantor. So for example, is yung birth certificate ng iyong guarantor, also provide that one. And also the bank certificate ng iyong guarantor, and also a photocopy of the ITR of your guarantor. But if you don't have a sponsor, of course, no need to worry about that, okay? And that's it. Okay, those are the requirements. Okay, so now, let's move on to the next step, which is step 3, filling up the application form. Okay, so as you can see at the top right, you have to paste there your photo, matching the size perfectly. Yung box na nakalagay, 45 mm by 35 mm or 2 inches by 1.4 inches. That's the only size that you're gonna provide for the photo on your application form, okay? Next is your surname, as shown in the passport. So write down your surname there. Just a quick info for comparison. Yung application form for the Japanese visa is quite short than the Korean visa. Kasi sa Korean visa parang 6 pages, 7 pages sa atin yung form. Dito kasi 2 pages lang siya. So very easy to really fill up this form, you know. But again, don't worry, I'm gonna guide you throughout this application form. So again, surname for as shown in the passport. Ako, I wrote everything in all caps. I think that's the usual format naman sa mga forms when you fill out forms. So I suggest you also do that, all caps. Okay, given and middle names. So obviously write that down. If you have other names, including any other names you are and have been known by, so like your nicknames, also write those down here. And then your date of birth, follow the format, day, month, and year. Tapos, your place of birth, the city, and then your state of province, and of course, the country. Your sex, male or female, and then marital status, are you single, married, widowed, or divorced? If you're Filipino, wala pa rin divorce sa Philippines, so walang annulled na option dito. Anyway, nationality or citizenship, of course, if you're a Filipino, you write down there, Filipino. So, ID number issued to you by your government. So, for this one, any ID that you have apart from your passport, so like driver's license, national ID, barangay ID, voter's ID, anything, any ID na issued by the government, you're gonna provide the ID number here, okay? And then your passport type, is it diplomatic, official, ordinary, other? Okay, for me, it's ordinary, so check mark on that. And then I wrote down my passport number. Okay, and place of issue, saang branch ba siya ng DFA in-issue yung passport? So write that down. And then, the date of issue, so you can also find that on your passport sa bio page. I think that's the second page on your passport. You can easily find that, okay? Yung date of issue. And then the issuing authority, ako, I wrote down here then, DFA. And then date of expiry, it's also on your passport. And then certificate of eligibility number, I'm not sure what this is, so I left that blank lang and it's okay. Tapos, purpose of visit to Japan or status of residence. So, again, for us, tourism. And then intended length of stay in Japan. So, how many days are you in Japan? 7 days? 14 days? For multiple entry visa, I think the max is 30 days per trip. So, I think that's the max. And also for single entry rin naman. Tapos, date of arrival in Japan, write it there. I think this is more for your planning. So, you don't need to provide like a supporting document kung kailan ba yung arrival mo in Japan. Just project when you are planning to arrive in Japan. Okay? Tapos, your port of entry into Japan. So, are you arriving there sa Narita Airport or sa Haneda Airport? So, saang airport ba to sa Japan? And then, name of ship or airline. So, if you already got your airplane tickets, so ano bang airline yung pinagbilihan mo ng ticket? So, is it like Cebu Pacific, AirAsia, Japan Airlines, or ANA? So, something like that. Names and addresses of hotels or persons with whom applicant intends to stay. So, where are you staying in Japan? Saan mo plano magstay? So, if you have a hotel, so write down the name, the telephone number, and the address. I'm pretty sure everything, all of those details are in the website of your hotel, okay? Pero if you're staying with someone you know in Japan, so again, write down the details here. And then dates and duration of previous stays in Japan. So if you've been to Japan before, write down your, again, the dates and duration of your previous stays in Japan. Pero again, if you haven't been to Japan, then don't fill this up, okay? Your current residential address, if you have more than one address, please list them all. So provide your home address, your telephone number, your mobile number, your email address, and then current profession or occupation and position. So, what's your job? For me, I wrote there, virtual assistant and vlogger. Tapos I have a very consistent naman na client for my virtual assistant job. So I wrote down the name of their business, their address, and also their telephone number. So if you're going with your partner, so write down your partner's profession or occupation. Or if you're a minor, tapos you're also going with their parents, so write down their profession or occupation here. And then if you have a guarantor or reference in Japan, fill out this part, this section, okay? So name, telephone number, address, date of birth, sex, relationship to applicant, relationship to you, tapos profession or occupation and position, nationality and immigration status, so everything. Tapos if you also have an inviter in Japan, put their details also here. And then just put a no here. So have you ever been convicted for a crime? If not, then no. So just read these statements, tapos answer honestly if yes ba or no. Pero in case you answered yes on any of those, please provide relevant details in this section. After that, that's almost the end of the application form. You just have to put the date of application. So date, for me kasi it doesn't need to be exact. Kasi syempre, when you submit this form sa agency, it's up to them when they can submit your documents to the embassy, right? So wala ka ng control doon. So for this one, I just wrote the date kung kailan ko siya bibigay sa agency. Yeah, so day, month, and year. And then of course, you have to sign here, put your signature of applicant, and then you're done with the application form. Good job! Very easy, right? I think I did this application form just for like 5 to 10 minutes. Very quick lang naman siya. Yeah, very easy. Okay, so once you're done with the application form, so ito naman yung mga other requirements na need din i-fill up. If you're trying to apply for a multiple entry, just like me, nakakuha na ako ng multiple entry visa. Bragging rights. Yeah, you also need to fill up this form. So I'm also gonna guide you how to fill this up, okay? Request for a multiple entry temporary visitor visa. So you have 4 options here. So check which one yung pinaka-applicable to you. And for me kasi na, you know, just there for tourism, I'm an ordinary person, no, I'm just a frequent traveler to Japan. So check mark on that. And then, I checked yung who has sufficient financial capacity because I haven't been to Japan, back to Japan, for the last 3 years when I was, you know, trying to get a multiple entry visa. So, I didn't check that one. Yun lang talaga yung third option, yung sufficient financial capacity. But for the others, please read all throughout tapos find which one is the most suitable for you, okay? Then put a check mark on that. So also, you might be wondering, you know, like, it's your first time going to Japan. Should I go for a multiple entry visa or should I go for a single entry visa? Kasi you actually have the option here. Unlike for Korea, they're gonna pick which one yung i-grant sa'yo, kung single entry lang ba o multiple entry. But for Japan visa, you have the option. But of course, at your own risk. So, if for me lang ha, I'm just being like kind of realistic for me. So if it's your first time going to Japan, I highly suggest applying muna for a single entry visa. Okay? Because after you've been to Japan once and you try to reapply for a multiple entry visa this time. But again, there's no guarantee na mag-grant ka ng multiple entry visa. Just try for it. But for me kasi, I've been to Japan for 3 times already. So, I applied for a multiple entry visa and I was granted it. Yeah, no problem. So, just a small advice for you guys, okay? Depending on your situation. And then, if you're a lot or like a big group of applicants, like buong family or buong friends, sabay-sabay mag-a-apply for a visa, you need to download the list of visa applicants form, which is also linked in the description below, and fill it out, guys. And once you're done filling out the forms, preparing all of the requirements, you're now good to go to proceed to your chosen travel agency, accredited travel agency, and submit your documents for filing to the embassy. So, I think that's quite easy for me, ha? And also, no need to show up sa embassy. There's no need for an interview, no need for that. Your agency will just submit your documents to the embassy, and then after 5 working days, you'll find out if you've been granted a visa or denied. Of course, hopefully naman, no, not denied. And Personally kasi, I rarely hear people getting denied with a Japanese visa. Yeah, but based from the people I know then who tried to get a Japanese visa, they always get approved. Yeah. But of course, this video, this vlog doesn't guarantee 100% you will get that visa. No, I am not gonna mislead you into thinking that. Okay? I'm just helping you, guiding you to, having the complete requirements before submitting them to your agency and to the embassy, and also some tips then on how to, I guess, have a higher success rate in getting a visa. Yeah. But again, I do not guarantee that visa. It's still up to the embassy to grant that visa, not up to me, okay? Just for clarification. But regardless, I hope I helped you guys through this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I guess from start to end, medyo mahaba tong vlog, but I want to go into detail talaga in how to apply for a Japanese visa. Para talaga wala ka nang iisipin pa. Kung hindi, bahala na si embassy kung denied or approved. Sila na bahala doon. But you have the clear, or you have like a peace of mind na, okay, I did my best. I did my best in submitting my documents and filling up the forms correctly. So again, if you haven't joined the family yet, please do hit the subscribe button down below. And also check out my travel vlogs. I've been to Korea, to Thailand, to Japan, and I'll also be going back to Japan soon. So watch out for the travel vlogs if you love watching vlogs about travel. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy my channel, okay? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys again on my next video. Bye! See you in Japan, okay?